This is how I turned $2,000 that I had across all my accounts into $50,000 that I was able to withdraw. And now the bookies are such sore losers, they won't even let me place a 1-cent bet. I'll be explaining mathematically how arbitrage and plus EV betting can achieve these phenomenal 25x returns, and how you can do it too with some real world examples. So a common misconception is that arbitrage and positive EV betting aren't even worth doing because the returns are generally only a few percent or sometimes even less than a single percent. While it's true that the expected return is not that high for each bet, what people forget is that the returns we are talking about are not over a period of a year, which is what we would say for traditional stocks or bonds, but rather this return we're talking about is for a single bet. And as you bet regularly and turn over your bankroll over and over again, your returns compound and multiply very quickly. Let's say you did some arbitrage bets and also bet on some promo, and the average return for these was 2.5%, which is a pretty conservative estimate. Let's say you're also busy and only able to actually turn over your bankroll 4 days a week. Over a year, this equates to 208 days. This means the returns will be 1.025 to the power of 208, which is equal to 170x. So hypothetically, if you started with $2,000, you would end up with $340,000 after a year. This is all due to the power of compounding returns. And a 2.5% arbitrage might not seem like something worth doing, but a year later, it will turn into something phenomenal. However, I was only to achieve a 25x return on my initial bankroll of $2,000 into $50,000. And I have to admit, there are a few limitations to the above calculation because eventually the bookies will stop you. However, 25x returns, or about $50,000 in profit, is definitely very achievable, and this is how I went about doing it. The first step in growing my $2,000 was to take advantage of the free money that comes in the form of deposit offers or first-time risk-free bets. If you know how to use it properly, a $1,000 risk-free bet or bonus cash can be turned into $700 of hard cash you can withdraw. And this will basically allow you to increase your starting bankroll right off the bat by about 70%. Unfortunately, I'm in Australia where the deposit offers aren't as generous as they are in the USA, which meant I was quickly onto the next step to scan the market for good arbitrage and positive EV opportunities. This was in the form of both promotional offers as well as sportsbook mispricings, which both occur very regularly. To find these mispricings, I can use a sports betting odds comparison site, such as today's sponsor OddsJam, which scans the odds across all the different sportsbooks and finds the best positive EV and arbitrage opportunities, so you don't have to do it manually. In this example, we find an arbitrage using two sportsbooks, PointsBet and Bet365. This opportunity is a 3.17 return, which means for every $100 we bet, we can expect to make guaranteed $3.17 in profit. OddsJam has a neat calculator where you can enter in how much you want to stake on one side of the arbitrage, and it automatically helps you calculate how much you can stake on the other sportsbook and how much profit you'll be guaranteed to make. We can see on OddsJam this isn't the only arbitrage opportunity, and there are plenty more with an edge of 2% or greater. In my experience, I like to diversify my bets in the case of a positive EV to reduce my risk, but even if it isn't arbitrage, I still like to avoid large bets as can draw the bookmaker's attention, and therefore your bet is more likely to get rejected and the sportsbooks may end up limiting your account. However, a few hundred to a couple thousand on each opportunity is generally fine, but I'd still recommend breaking them up into smaller sizes like $50 and placing them one after the other, in case one sportsbook doesn't let your bet go through, which could leave you exposed to a huge loss on the other side. I mentioned earlier there were some limitations with arbitrage and positive EV betting, which meant I could only get a 25x return rather than a 170x return. The first is that even though you'll always find arbitrage opportunities, sometimes these events are not tomorrow or the same day, they might be a few days or a week away. This means if you bet on the arbitrage, your money is actually locked away in these accounts for a week or so until the event actually happens and you get the money back, so the money is locked away. And therefore this means it doesn't compound as often. However, ultimately the biggest downside is that sportsbooks hate winners. They will generally in a few months or so start to restrict your accounts if you have been winning, restricting you from any of their promotional offers, which might sometimes be worth even up to 40% returns if you know what you are doing, and also setting maximum bet sizes you can place on any of their events. This makes it very hard to get on more than a couple $1,000s or even sometimes a few $100s on a single bet, and this means you can't really utilize your bankroll to its full potential and achieve the full effect of the compound returns. One by one, my accounts got excluded from their promotional offers, and they also set restrictions on the maximum amount that I was allowed to place for each bet. And eventually towards the end, Ladbrokes wasn't letting me place bets at all, except on the outcomes that were guaranteed to make me money. As you can see, they wouldn't even let me place bets for 1 cent. But that's okay, because now it's you guys' turn to help me beat the sportsbooks and make some decent side hustle money for yourselves. If you enjoyed this video, then make sure to give it a big thumbs up down below and subscribe to not miss out on the other betting and money making tips that I have lined up. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.